Ladies and gentlemen, friends and seekers of peace, have you ever felt that life is running too fast? That no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to fall into place? We chase, we rush, we panic, and yet we forget one simple truth. Life has its own timing. As Gaur Gopal thus beautifully reminds us, be still, life will deliver. You see, in our world of constant noise and pressure, stillness feels like a weakness. We are told that if we're not hustling, we're falling behind. But here's the secret. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause. When the storm rages, the strongest tree is not the one that fights the wind. It's the one that bends, that stays rooted, that trusts the process. Stillness is not inactivity, it's inner strength. It's the art of trusting that what is meant for you will find you when the time is right. In a world that celebrates constant movement, noise, and achievement, being still can seem counterintuitive, almost like falling behind. Yet, the truth is that stillness is not a sign of weakness. It's a mark of great inner strength. It takes courage to pause when everyone else is racing, to breathe deeply when life is demanding urgency, and to stand calmly when the world around you trembles. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about mastering yourself in the middle of everything. It's about choosing peace over panic, faith over fear, and clarity over confusion. Think about the calm surface of a lake. On the surface, it looks motionless, silent, perhaps even lifeless. But beneath that calmness, there is depth, strength, and quiet activity. The fish move, the water currents shift, and life thrives in its own rhythm. Similarly, when you are still, it doesn't mean you have stopped growing. It means you are working from a place of grounded awareness, not frantic energy. You are moving from depth, not from desperation. The ability to stay composed when everything around you is uncertain is what truly defines emotional maturity. We live in a world that constantly pressures us to react instantly. Notifications, messages, deadlines, and opinions bombard our minds, leaving us restless and anxious. But reacting is not the same as responding. Reaction comes from impulse, while response comes from wisdom. Stillness gives you the space to pause and choose your response with awareness. It's in the still moments that you gain perspective, that you find the strength to see the bigger picture, instead of being lost in the noise of the moment. When your mind is still, your thoughts become organized, your heart becomes stable, and your actions become more powerful. Great leaders, thinkers, and spiritual teachers have always emphasized the importance of stillness. Mahatma Gandhi would sit silently for hours before making important decisions. Gaur Gopal often speaks of reflection as a spiritual practice, not to escape life, but to engage with it more consciously. Even in nature, strength is found in stillness. The tallest mountain does not move, yet it withstands the fiercest storms. The ocean, though vast and deep, remains calm at its core despite the waves that rise and fall above it. True strength lies not in the noise you make, but in the calmness you carry. When challenges arise, most people react out of fear or frustration. But those who are still, who are calm, can see beyond the immediate problem. They can navigate through storms because they are not consumed by them. Being still allows you to see clearly what others can't. It helps you hear the whisper of intuition that often gets drowned out by panic. In stillness, you realize that life doesn't always need to be controlled. Sometimes it just needs to be trusted. This trust, born from stillness, becomes your greatest weapon against anxiety and doubt. Stillness also enhances your emotional intelligence. When you are calm, you don't allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. You begin to observe rather than react, to understand rather than judge. This inner stability not only empowers you, but also influences others. People are naturally drawn to those who are calm under pressure because stillness radiates confidence. It creates an energy of safety and reassurance. It tells the world that no matter how strong the wind blows, you are rooted deep enough to withstand it. So, stillness is not inactivity, it is controlled strength. It's not weakness, it's wisdom in motion. It is the quiet power that helps you rise above the noise, think clearly, and act effectively. In a world that's constantly running, being still is not falling behind, it's being ahead in clarity, composure, and consciousness. Those who master stillness master themselves, and those who master themselves eventually master life. Trusting the process of life is one of the most profound lessons we can learn. It's easy to have faith when everything is going smoothly, but the true test of strength comes when things don't go as planned. There are times when we give our best, yet results seem distant. We work hard, we dream big, but life places us on hold. In those moments, doubt begins to creep in, whispering that perhaps our efforts are in vain. However, it is precisely during such times that trust becomes our greatest ally. Trusting the process doesn't mean you stop working. It means you stop worrying. It means believing that even when you can't see the full picture, the pieces are still coming together perfectly behind the scenes. Every meaningful creation in life takes time. The seed does not transform into a tree overnight. It first breaks open in darkness before ever seeing the light. The caterpillar must endure confinement before emerging as a butterfly. The most beautiful outcomes are often born in the most uncomfortable conditions. Similarly, your dreams require time to mature. The universe operates on divine timing, not on your schedule. What feels like delay is often life's way of aligning you with something greater. Sometimes we're not being denied, we're simply being prepared. There is strength, wisdom, and patience being cultivated within you that only time can teach. When we lose trust in the process, we start forcing things. We become impatient, anxious, and restless, trying to control outcomes that are not ready to unfold. This resistance drains our energy and blurs our clarity. But when we learn to surrender and trust, something magical happens. Our energy shifts from panic to peace. We start to move with life rather than against it. We begin to see signs, lessons, and blessings, even in the waiting. Gaur Gopal often reminds us that faith is not believing everything will always go our way, but believing that whatever happens will ultimately serve our growth. Life never wastes pain. Every struggle is shaping you into someone capable of handling your blessings when they arrive. There's a certain elegance in trusting the unknown. It allows you to breathe amid uncertainty. Think of a person who plants a seed and walks away, confident that the soil, sunlight, and rain will do their job. That person doesn't dig it up every day to check its progress. They trust the natural process. In the same way, when you've done your part, you must learn to step back and allow life to unfold its rhythm. Constantly doubting and overthinking only disturbs the growth that's happening beneath the surface. True faith means planting your intentions with dedication and nurturing them with patience, knowing that what's meant for you will never miss you. Trusting the process also means accepting that not everything will happen the way you envisioned. Sometimes, life redirects you, not to punish you, but to protect you. What feels like rejection today may be redirection towards something far better. The job you didn't get, the relationship that didn't last, the opportunity that slipped away. Each one was a step that shaped your path, even if it didn't look that way in the moment. Life's wisdom often hides in disguise, and only time reveals its purpose. When you trust the process, you stop seeing delays as denials and begin to recognize them as divine setups for something more aligned with your true self. It's also important to remember that trust is not passive. It's not sitting idle, waiting for miracles to appear. It's active patience, continuing to work, learn, and grow while knowing that the outcome will arrive when that time is right. You keep showing up, even when you can't yet see the reward. You keep believing, even when you don't understand. And you keep smiling, because deep down you know that life is working in your favor, even when it doesn't look that way. When you trust the process, you step into a space of flow, where your heart leads with faith, your mind stays calm with clarity, and your spirit stays aligned with purpose. That's where real transformation begins. Waiting is one of the hardest disciplines of life, yet it is one of the most essential. In a world that glorifies speed, we have forgotten the value of stillness in time. We want quick results, instant success, immediate validation, but life doesn't work like a vending machine. It operates more like a garden, where every seed must endure its silent season before it blossoms. Waiting is not wasting. It is a phase of quiet preparation where invisible growth takes place. The period that feels like nothing is happening is often the time when everything is coming together beneath the surface. When we wait, our patience is tested, our faith is stretched, and our character is refined. Waiting teaches us humility because it reminds us that we are not in control of everything. It also teaches resilience because it forces us to keep hope alive even when the outcome is uncertain. The greatest transformations happen when we learn to sit in the discomfort of not knowing, yet continue to trust that something meaningful is being shaped for us. Just because life is silent doesn't mean it is inactive. The seed beneath the soil does not announce its progress, but every day it is breaking, expanding, and preparing to rise. Too often, people interpret waiting as stagnation. They assume that if results aren't visible, progress isn't being made. But growth is not always measurable. It's often internal. In the waiting period, you are being molded emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The lessons you learn during the waiting phase are the very tools that will sustain you when success arrives. Many people pray for big things, but forget that big blessings require a big foundation. If life gave you everything too soon, you might not have the strength, maturity, or wisdom to handle it. The delay isn't a denial, it's preparation. This period of waiting can feel frustrating, especially when you see others achieving what you desire, but comparing your journey to someone else's only creates unnecessary pain. Every individual has a unique timeline. The flower that blooms in spring doesn't envy the one that blossoms in autumn. Both are beautiful. Both are right on time. Trust that your season will come when you're ready for it. Instead of asking, why is this taking so long? Try asking, what is this teaching me? Because every waiting phase carries a purpose: to polish your patience, to deepen your understanding, and to strengthen your faith. It is also important to use this waiting period wisely. Waiting doesn't mean sitting idle or doing nothing. It means preparing for what's to come. A student doesn't stop studying just because exams are weeks away. A performer doesn't stop rehearsing because the show hasn't started. Similarly, use your waiting time to sharpen your skills, nurture your mind, and develop yourself. Read, reflect, plan, and grow. When opportunity finally knocks, you'll be ready to answer with confidence. The most successful people aren't those who never waited. They're the ones who made the most of their waiting. Patience also teaches perspective. When you look back at the moments you thought were wasted, you'll often realize they were the ones that shaped you the most. The friendships that took time to build, the dreams that took years to manifest, the healing that required silence, each was forming you into someone stronger and wiser. The beauty of patience is that it transforms frustration into faith. It reminds you that good things don't happen fast. They happen when they're meant to. Life doesn't operate on your deadlines, but on divine timing. Waiting is not about counting minutes, it's about trusting moments. It's an act of quiet faith that says, even though I can't see it, I know it's happening. When you embrace this truth, the anxiety of delay begins to fade. You stop chasing timelines and start aligning with trust. You realize that every pause has a purpose, every detour a direction, and every delay a deeper meaning. The waiting season isn't the end of your story. It's the chapter where you grow roots so strong that when your time finally comes, nothing can shake you. Surrender is often misunderstood as weakness, when in truth, it is one of the highest forms of strength. To surrender does not mean to give up. It means to stop fighting the natural flow of life and to trust that what is unfolding is part of something larger than yourself. In a world that teaches us to control everything, our careers, relationships, outcomes, and even emotions, surrender feels like losing power. But the paradox is that true power comes from letting go of control and allowing life to move through you, not against you. When you stop resisting, you begin to align with the rhythm of existence, and that alignment brings peace, clarity, and grace. Imagine a river flowing effortlessly toward the ocean. It doesn't struggle, it doesn't question, it doesn't panic. It simply flows, knowing that every twist and turn, every rock and obstacle is part of its journey. The river never doubts that it will reach the sea. It just continues to move forward with faith in its path. We, however, often do the opposite. We resist the current of life, fight against change, and try to force outcomes that are not meant to be. This resistance creates frustration and exhaustion. The more we push, the more drained we feel. But the moment we surrender, the moment we say, I trust that this too has a purpose, we begin to float again. We stop sinking in anxiety and start rising in awareness. Surrender is not the absence of effort, it is the redirection of effort. It is choosing to focus your energy not on controlling the uncontrollable, but on mastering your inner state. It's about shifting from panic to presence. When you surrender, you are not abandoning your goals or dreams, you are simply releasing the attachment to how and when they must happen. You continue to act, but with calmness instead of desperation. You continue to dream, but with faith instead of fear. You understand that everything has its own timing, and that forcing what isn't ready can ruin what's meant to be beautiful. There is great wisdom in recognizing that not everything is in your hands. Life has its own intelligence, far greater than our limited understanding. Sometimes what feels like a setback is a redirection towards something far better. Sometimes the door closes, not to punish you, but to protect you. Surrender allows you to accept this truth without resentment. It helps you stay centered even when everything seems uncertain. The moment you stop fighting what you cannot change, you create space for peace and new possibilities to enter. Life begins to cooperate with you when you stop resisting it. It takes courage to surrender, because the human ego craves control. The mind tells you that letting go means failure, but in reality, it means freedom. When you surrender, you free yourself from unnecessary worry and fear. You begin to live with more ease and flow. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a co-creator with life. This surrender is not passive. It's deeply active because it requires awareness, humility, and trust. It's an act of wisdom that says, I may not know what's next, but I trust that life does. There is also beauty in discovering that surrender doesn't weaken your determination, it strengthens it. You still work hard, but now your work comes from a place of harmony rather than struggle. You still pursue your dreams, but now your journey is guided by peace instead of pressure. When you surrender, you align your actions with the greater rhythm of life, and things start to unfold more naturally. Opportunities appear, relationships flow, and challenges become teachers rather than enemies. You stop swimming upstream and start gliding with the current, and that's when you truly begin to live. The power of surrender lies in acceptance. The acceptance that life will not always go according to your plan, but it will always go according to a higher plan. You may not see it now, but every twist and turn is guiding you toward growth. Every challenge is refining your soul. Every moment of uncertainty is preparing you for strength. When you surrender, you are not losing control, you are gaining connection. You are not being defeated, you are being directed. And once you learn to surrender gracefully, life stops being a battle and starts becoming a beautiful dance between your effort and the universe's flow. Inner peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the silent foundation upon which all true progress stands. When your inner world is calm, your outer world naturally begins to align. But when your mind is cluttered with fear, anxiety, or chaos, even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. Inner peace is not about avoiding problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about maintaining balance and clarity even when life becomes unpredictable. It's about mastering your emotions instead of letting them master you. The strength to stay composed in chaos is what separates those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. We often think success comes only from relentless action, constant struggle, and never-ending ambition. While discipline and hard work are essential, they lose their effectiveness without peace of mind. A calm mind can see solutions that a restless one cannot. When you act from stillness, your decisions become wiser, your energy becomes focused, and your results become stronger. Peace doesn't slow you down, it makes you sharper. It's the quiet space between thoughts that gives birth to creativity, the pause between actions that allows wisdom to surface. Without inner peace, we may work harder but achieve less because our energy is scattered rather than centered. There is a beautiful harmony between inner peace and outer progress. The more centered you are, the more effortlessly you attract the right opportunities, people, and experiences. When your energy is peaceful, it radiates clarity and confidence. People feel drawn to your calmness because it offers something rare in today's world: stability. It's not your words or your wealth that influence others most, it's the energy you carry. A calm person in a room full of chaos becomes a source of strength for everyone else. Inner peace is magnetic. It silently influences everything around you. Achieving inner peace doesn't mean isolating yourself from life. It means engaging with life more consciously. It means choosing your battles wisely and not letting every noise disturb your focus. There will always be challenges, deadlines, disappointments, disagreements, but peace comes from knowing that your reactions determine your reality. You may not control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. When you stop giving power to external chaos, internal stability becomes your natural state. This stability is what allows you to keep moving forward gracefully even when everything else feels uncertain. The path to inner peace begins with awareness. You must first recognize when your mind is restless, when your thoughts are racing, or when your emotions are controlling your actions. Once you become aware, you can start to detach from the noise and observe it rather than become it. Meditation, prayer, mindful breathing, or even a few moments of silence can help restore balance. Gaur Gopal often says that peace is not found in the absence of noise, but in the ability to remain calm within it. When you nurture that calmness daily, peace becomes your default state rather than an occasional visitor. It's important to understand that inner peace doesn't mean you won't face challenges or pain. It means that your peace is no longer dependent on circumstances. You learn to carry serenity within you like a flame that no storm can extinguish. When life throws uncertainty your way, you don't react impulsively, you respond intelligently. You understand that every challenge is temporary, that every hardship carries a lesson. This awareness keeps your energy steady, your thoughts focused, and your heart open. From this state of calm strength, your progress becomes unstoppable because it is grounded in stability, not chaos. When inner peace becomes your foundation, success follows naturally. You no longer chase outcomes, you attract them through presence and composure. The world responds to your energy, and when your energy is peaceful, life mirrors that peace back to you. You begin to experience synchronicities. The right doors open at the right time, opportunities flow effortlessly, and relationships become more harmonious. Inner peace is not passive. It is the highest form of power. It's the state from which great leadership, deep wisdom, and lasting happiness emerge. Once you cultivate it, everything you do becomes more meaningful, more effective, and more aligned with your true self. Life has its own timing, and no matter how much we try to rush it, it unfolds only when the moment is right. This understanding is both humbling and liberating. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, fast results, quick fame, immediate rewards. We are taught to measure success by speed, as though arriving quickly is the same as arriving meaningfully. But life operates differently. It follows a rhythm that cannot be forced or manipulated. Everything you desire, success, love, peace, recognition, comes at the moment you are truly ready to receive it. Life always delivers, but never ahead of schedule. The sun does not rise before its time, yet it never fails to light up the world. The seasons do not arrive out of turn, yet every year they renew life in perfect harmony. In the same way, our lives are governed by unseen timing that ensures everything happens exactly when it should. When we understand this, we stop rushing, panicking, or doubting. We begin to trust the natural pace of our journey. The delays we face are not punishments, they are preparations. The moments that feel like waiting are actually the universe aligning the right circumstances, people, and lessons so that we can fully receive what we are meant to. It is often said that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The same principle applies to every area of life. What is meant for you will not miss you, but you must be ready for it. Sometimes we pray for things we are not yet prepared to handle. We ask for success but lack the discipline to sustain it. We ask for love but haven't learned to love ourselves. We ask for peace but haven't silenced the noise within. Life delays certain blessings not to deny us, but to give us time to grow into the person capable of receiving them. The waiting is not empty, it's filled with purpose. Every setback, every detour, every pause is shaping your character for the next chapter. When you begin to trust this timing, life becomes less about control and more about flow. You start to notice how even your so-called failures were redirections that led you somewhere better. The job that didn't work out taught you resilience. The relationship that ended created space for someone more compatible. The dream that seemed to collapse opened the door to a bigger one. Life's timing is flawless. It doesn't operate according to our impatience, but according to our growth. The things that come too early often fade quickly. The things that arrive in their own time tend to last. Learning to trust life's timing also teaches patience and gratitude. You begin to appreciate the present moment instead of rushing toward the future. You realize that every season has value, even the ones that feel uncertain or uncomfortable, just as winter serves a purpose in preparing nature for spring. The quiet phases in your life are not meaningless. They are building strength, wisdom, and endurance within you. The more you resist the timing, the more frustrated you become. But the more you accept it, the more peaceful and powerful you feel. Trust is the bridge between your effort and life's reward. It takes maturity to understand that life's delays are not life's denials. There's a deeper intelligence working on your behalf, orchestrating events you cannot yet see. What you perceive as a pause may actually be protection. What you call slow progress might be divine timing saving you from mistakes. When you surrender to this understanding, anxiety begins to fade. You start to live with calm confidence, knowing that you're exactly where you need to be and that what's coming is worth the wait. Life never forgets those who trust its process. It delivers to them not just what they want, but what they are truly meant for. When your heart is steady and your faith unshaken, everything begins to align. You stop chasing what is not yours and start attracting what is meant for you. You no longer compare your journey with others because you know that everyone has their own timing. The universe is never late and it is never early. It always delivers in perfect order with perfect purpose. All you need to do is stay patient, stay faithful, and stay open. Because when the time is right, what's meant for you will arrive effortlessly. Not a second too early and not a moment too late. So when things don't go your way, when the answers seem delayed, when your dreams feel distant, pause, take a breath. Don't mistake waiting for wasting. Life has not forgotten you. What you seek is on its way, but it needs you to be ready, calm, and aligned. Let go of panic, embrace patience. Because when you're still, you can finally hear life whispering, "Trust me, I'm working on it." In closing, remember this: the sun never rushes to rise, yet it lights up the whole world. The river doesn't fight its path, yet it carves valleys through stone. So don't rush your journey. Don't let impatience steal your peace. Be still, have faith, and allow life to deliver what's truly yours, in its perfect time, in its perfect way. Thank you.